Hello and welcome everyone to today's episode. We have Michelle here and it's going to be a really fun, free-flowing podcast today. And for those of you who are just joining the podcast for the first time, I am Cara Baroni. As you also know, my alter ego from living in Australia and London is Cara. So however you prefer to pronounce it, it doesn't bother me. But I am the founder of CB Consulting, and we specialize in helping learning businesses reduce operational costs and improve efficiency with AI, automations, and thought leadership. So if you'd like your complimentary growth plan for scaling, drop in the word growth into the chat. But without further ado, welcome to the future of learning, where you're going to be hearing from thought leaders, founders, and true innovators like Michelle. She's the co-founder of easyReportPRO. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, welcome, and thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely. It's going to be really fun today because we are talking about a topic that is a little niche specific, but I know that so many people, it will start the wheels turning on how they can automate a lot more. So today
Yes.
we're talking about how automation and AI reduces burnout, a very topic that is near and dear to my heart, but specifically for clinicians, for allied health professionals. So Michelle, talk a little bit about your backstory.
Sure. So I am a speech and language pathologist, a school-based speech and language pathologist, and I've been in the schools for, I would say about 20 years, 25 years now. Um, I received my master's and PhD at the University of Massachusetts. And for my PhD, my focus was on telepractice. Now, this was way back, like from 2008 to 2012, before like telehealth, Zoom, online learning was really mainstream. So I've always had a really deep interest as to how technology can enhance services, clinical services. And so, of course, it started in expanding clinical services through telepractice or telehealth to remote areas or areas where specialists or allied health providers weren't readily available because there's a huge shortage of us in our country. And then throughout the years, it's kind of morphed into more how can technology in general really help with workload management, specifically to help reduce burnout. And so, like you mentioned, burnout is huge in our field. And I felt that acutely. And because of that, I wanted to learn about different types of technology and see how we could leverage technology to help reduce burnout. And for me specifically, it was burnout with report writing, documentation, a lot of not the caseload, students, the clinic, the clients are phenomenal, but it was that all of that paperwork, all of that report writing that often happens after the work hours are done. That really got to me and led to some pretty severe burnout on my end.
Understood. So how did that experience that you've not only seen amongst fellow colleagues, but like yourself, how did this start the creation of Easy Report Pro?
So, a lot of my job, what I have to do is diagnostic evaluations. And this is really common for clinicians, especially in a school-based setting or really any clinical setting. In order for students or clients to get services, and this could be services like occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech and language therapy, clinical or psychological services, there needs to be an evaluation. And that's where we observe, we do testing, we kind of get a diagnostic impression of the level and the functioning of the student or the client. And after that, we have to write up a report. And often those reports, so after the testing is done, often those reports can take 4, 6, 10 hours to write. And this is just one report.
And how many clients are most people seeing? I'm just trying to put this in
Okay,
context.
I love it. No, so for a school, like the average caseload size is about 47 students. 47,
Wow.
in some schools it's much higher. But we do a lot more evaluations than that. So I personally will do about 100 evaluations a year. Some clinicians do less, some do more, but nonetheless, that is a significant amount of time that is dedicated to doing this type of work. And in fact, if we look at surveys and research, we'll see that this type of workload, this type of documentation is the second most time consuming thing that speech and language pathologists do as part of their job.
What's the first?
Direct services.
Okay.
Direct services, yeah. That's good. We
Good.
need that. Yeah. But because I was doing so many evaluations and spending all of this time writing up these reports, I was taking it home. And of course, that took away from time I was able to spend with my family, with my friends, even just like going outside and breathing fresh air.
Mm.
And I needed a solution. So my husband, who's a computer programmer, this was before the pandemic, probably 2019, we really started to think about how we could leverage technology, specifically automation, to streamline the manual parts of writing a report. Because usually, typically, as clinicians, our go-to method for writing a report is using text-based templates. In graduate school, we're given these. As we go through our profession, we start to like cultivate and really curate our own templates so they're really reflective of our expertise, our voice, our experiences, um, which is awesome, which is brilliant. We want
Yeah.
that, but they're all in text-based format. So when I had to go use them, I would have to go through this whole process. I would have to find the templates I wanted, copy and paste the sections that I needed, put them into my report, find and replace names, genders, switch out observations, scores, narratives, recommendations, things like that. And that, of course, takes a lot of time. Not only does it take a lot of time, it also leads to unintentional mistakes, which reflects on us as a professional. When I'm giving a report that has errors in it, and teams, parents, maybe my boss, administrators, lawyers, advocates are seeing those reports with those errors. They're seeing this report before they're even meeting me in person. That's a reflection on me. And we wanted to find a way to solve that problem.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit as you created this product that really just helps streamline personally, and then I would also love to hear some other case
Yes.
studies. Like how much did it help burnout in terms of like hours saved and then also your own confidence?
Oh, right. So when we first built it, it was really built for me. And I think I was mentioning it was like, I was like really thinking about leaving the profession. I desperately
Wow.
needed a solution. So my husband, who I mentioned is a programmer, kind of like hard coded this system for me. And the first time I used it, it saved me 2.5 hours on one report. And so I instantly saw its value. Not only did I have that time, but of course, everything was error free because we used auto populate codes, because we were able to directly match scores to pre-written write-ups that came from my templates. I knew that everything was going to be accurate, everything was going to be reflective of the way I like to present my reports. And so I instantly felt relief from
Mm,
that time savings, and then also instantly felt a renewed sense of confidence in the deliverables, which is a report that I was giving to our teams or our stakeholders. Yeah,
yeah.
so that confidence boost, like I didn't have to walk into a meeting feeling stressed out, like if there was an error in my report or if like a score was wrong or something like that, that was immediately um, gone from like
Yeah.
my cognitive stress level of stress. Yeah.
Totally. And I think, for so many years you probably don't even think about the stress, and then all of a sudden it creeps
Right.
up on you and you're like, wait, there's a lot of mental fatigue, overthinking going into this. So what
Yeah.
I love so much about you, but any business that really comes out of a very specific problem that you're facing. So what has it looked like now to talk about some of the other people you've now given this tool, this system to? Like, what is that looking like in their everyday life?
Oh, it's been amazing. And it's been amazing to hear feedback, ideas. So some of the feedback we'll get are things like, of course, that time savings. We have a lot of people, even, and if you check out our website, we have a whole testimonial section, and you'll see people who will say, this has saved me hours of time. It also helps them organize the like sections or information that needs to go into a report. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like a cognitive offload as well. People are saying, instead of focusing the like manual time or just like the mental energy on like writing a report, they can talk about the report. They can talk to their colleagues. They can talk to parents, caregivers. They can talk about how their recommendations can be carried over into a classroom. And that is amazing that we're able to provide that type of time and mental energy to clinicians to do that. Because, of course, as allied health professionals, our whole goal is to help people um, practice, not just practice, but help people communicate in a way, not in a therapy setting, not in a one-to-one setting, but in life, in the classroom, interacting with others. And so when we're able to have that time to support our colleagues who are also working with our students or with our clients, that's really valuable and beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm hearing it's not only just helping them get back into their zone of genius, obviously increasing their energy, but also scaling out beyond just the session because there is
Yes.
more time, capacity, space, energy.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about skill set on this show, and I'm curious, what is the number one skill that you've had to either learn, evolve as you've scaled out a business now?
So that is such a great question because so obviously, well, my education was all in the clinical field. So it was learning about communication disorders, not only all the different types of communication disorders, but evaluating them, writing up reports to determine or identify a communication disorder, provide direct services and things like that. And that is one type of mindset. Now, when thinking about, well, we've built the software and having to think about the whole business end of it,
Yeah.
that is an upskill that we were not taught in graduate school.
Yeah.
So learning like messaging, the whole like marketing funnel, SEO, like words that were foreign to me up until a few years ago. Um, Learning about that whole process has definitely been a very quick learning curve.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say that.
So all the business acumen,
All the
the
bit
marketing.
the marketing I would say is the hard was the biggest thing. My husband has had a company, but he's a programmer. So he kind of had his software and he kind of did his thing, but this is a very different type of platform because
Yeah.
it's for the general, it's for speech language pathologists, special educators, psychologists, occupational therapists, um, all sorts of different clinicians. So that general marketing and messaging has been a really interesting upskill that I've had to learn, even how like to describe it and talk
Yeah.
about this type of platform. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Yeah, in this day and age, everything has just been become so fast and so fun with
right.
marketing as well. So tell us a little bit about the book you have coming out, because I think it really ties in a lot of this conversation. So like when does AI come into play? When does other technology come into play?
Awesome. So we do have a book coming out. It's coming out October 2nd from through Plural Publishing. It's a very long title. The title is Artificial Intelligence, Extended Reality, and Automation in Speech and Language Pathology.
Very cool.
And what we aim to do is, so we collaborated with my colleague and I, Dr. Nursa Hall. We're the author, we're the co-editors of this book, and we worked with a lot of researchers in the field to really identify and describe these technologies. So what AI is, what extended reality is, what automation is, and then also identify the critical needs or the really kind of critical purposes of why we would choose to use a particular type of technology for a particular type of purpose. And the reason why we wanted to do this is, of course, AI is like in the news. It is like the new, it's amazing. It's an amazing technology, but it may not be the right technology for the specific types of critical tasks that we need to accomplish or do as clinicians. So AI is wonderful for brainstorming. It is wonderful for creating, in my field at least, it is wonderful for creating highly personalized therapeutic materials with clinical oversight. Because typically we wouldn't, it would take us hours and hours, or we wouldn't even be able to do that at all. Like an example would be a, a passage about Minecraft that has like these target vocabulary words. AI can generate that when given the right prompt and create a visual that goes along with it and create comprehension questions that go along with it. That typically, if we were to do that, would take us hours. AI is really lovely for that.
Yeah. So
We
scaling out some custom plans for people.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Automation is really great for things like diagnostic report writing because these are high stakes documents. They're legal documents. They're used for individual education plans. They're used for insurance claims. So they have to be accurate. They have to be written in the voice of the clinician. They have to be really consistent every single time. We have to make sure that they have very specific, almost legalese type of verbiage in it.
Yeah.
That's something generative AI is not ideal for because it, will rework the wording every time you ask it to.
Right.
Ask it to. So having that consistency, having that accuracy for a particular document, automation is the tool that we would recommend.
Yeah.
If we want if we want our clients or students to do like role-playing activities, to practice a specific strategy in a specific setting, well, virtual reality is pretty amazing for that. And so it's identifying the need and then the tool, the tech tool that matches that need. And so that's really the goal of our book.
I love that. It's really a deep dive into some of these new topics that you
Yeah.
have, really figured out and taken a look at, like, and it's kind of like a guided book, like which one should you pick and to help them
Right.
really grow their practices, scale that out and optimize that experience. So
Yeah.
you have mentioned a lot going on from the book to getting the platform growing even more. I'm curious, like a year from now, if we were to have this conversation, where do you want Easy Report Pro to go? Like, what's the vision?
So, well, the grand vision is really for easyReportPRO to be the go-to platform for clinicians who are struggling to write diagnostic reports.
Okay.
So if clinicians are feeling, or districts or clinics are kind of feeling that burnout or having difficulty writing really consistent, high quality diagnostic reports, we want easyReportPRO to be that platform that helps them solve that problem. And the cool thing about this platform is that it's fully customizable. Clinicians, districts can upload, can put in their own resources, their own materials. So it's not like a cookie cutter type of like automation platform.
Yeah.
It is fully customizable. And so we would like, districts to really know about this platform, to really kind of go to this platform, to be like, this is the software, the smart software that we need to support our providers.
I love it. So becoming the go-to. You heard
The
it here,
go-to.
folks, first. You
Yes.
first here, folks.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you've done obviously a lot with the automation, the tech side. and of preventing burnout. You've seen it in your own use case. You've seen it now with other people using easyReportPRO. I'm curious, outside of the automation standpoint, the tech world, I ask everyone this,
Yeah.
but in this very fast world, what is your favorite way to prevent burnout for yourself besides automating?
Besides automating, so it is actually like totally detaching from technology, going outside and taking a walk and being in nature. Like oftentimes, just having that mental quietness and that space in a walk, I'll get some ideas that I like perhaps don't have when I'm like working in front of a computer. And it really just allows my entire system to kind of relax, take in the energy around me, and kind of move forward with my day and hopefully collaborate and integrate with the people who I get to be with in a much more meaningful and present way. So for me, it is going outside and that really helps, taking a walk, and that really helps my burnout.
Absolutely. Unplugging completely and getting your
Yes.
best ideas, these big, bold, money-making ideas, helping others. So I love that.
Yes.
Well, is there any last words you would like to leave with our audience?
Um, well, I guess I would hope if people are interested in learning more about us,
Yeah.
about what we do, to please check it out. Another thing that I love about our platform is that it's really built from clinician feedback and guidance. Like we kind of had this initial idea and we built this initial platform and kind of like put it out there. But the way it's evolved and the way it's really helped clinicians is not from us, it's like from feedback and suggestions that we got from people using it. So that's another really thing that I love about what we do is this community, this just communication that we have with people who are using the platform, and they're brilliant. Like allied health professionals and clinicians are brilliant. They know what they need.
Right.
And when they're able to tell us that, and we're able to incorporate that into a platform that meets their needs rather than us thinking, oh, you need this, go for it.
Right.
Really listening to them, that is something I hope your listeners
Love it.
like and will if again if interested reach out to us because we definitely love listening and hearing from people.
Amazing. So for those who want to follow along or learn more, where can they find you?
So they can find us. So our website is easyreportpro.com. You can email me directly at michelleb@easyreportpro.com. We're also on Instagram at easyreportpro. We have a Facebook page, Easy Report Pro. LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn, Michelle Boisvert.
Great.
And those are the three, yeah, things. And
Amazing.
we love hearing. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you've brought so much fun energy, and I think everyone can feel that. So, a big thank you to Michelle for joining us today. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who's looking to stay on the cutting edge of learning. That is it for now. We will see you on the next episode. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.